On the last Speedster build video, Todd claimed to show you what he spent. Shocking. He installed the muffler, Stephen made some parts shiny, and Todd started bolting on more parts.
Alright, I got another piece back today. The battery box, which to my knowledge they're not reproducing them, haven't reproduced them in a while. And the one we got out of the field tee, the burn up tee, if I've got a picture of it, I'll put it up here. Anyway, it was pretty bad off. So Stephen Porter, my buddy, he's been in a couple videos. He redid this bottom part to where it should not break. So we're gonna put that in now. He said I may have to bend this a little bit. And I had already put the stainless steel button head screws in here so that I wouldn't lose them. And he threw some rattle can paint on there, and we'll leave it on there until we get ready to spray the frame. That one is through. Like I said, I'll come around there and put that one in. So these are the bolts that I'm using, stainless steel. I don't know what you call it, but like a carriage bolt, but not a carriage bolt with an Allen head on it. I just think these will look a little bit better. This will probably be mostly exposed back here. May have said that before. I just think it hopefully it'll look a little cooler. Didn't hardly have to bend it at all. And it is hot. I had long sleeves on Monday, and as soon as I get this in there, turning the fan back on in here. All right, I'll get a Allen head out and wrench and tighten these up. Anyway, I think that looks pretty good. So on this front engine mount, these threads were kind of boogered up, and I've been waiting a couple of weeks to get a dye to clean the threads up. And a friend of mine had one, and he came by last night and we cleaned them up. It was real easy, not too bad at all. And we actually got the front axle hung up under here. So that was in between watching Randall shed by the tracks. I stopped watching it long enough, and we got the axle hung up under here. So just got back from the restaurant this Saturday afternoon, and I'm going to try to jack this front axle up and get ready to put the wishbone on probably next. We'll see how that goes. May or may not record that. Is it me, or does this song not start off like Hot for Teacher by David Lee Roth? Yeah, it was played by ZZ Top. Anyways, what I'm doing here is starting to install the wishbone. And check out the shirt that a customer brought me a while back. It doesn't fit that well, so I'll wear it as a cover shirt while I'm working. Alright, this is where we are. Front axle's in. Nothing's changed since the last scene, I don't think. But it is Tuesday afternoon, okay? It's Tuesday afternoon. It's probably 5 o'clock. My goal, I feel like I'm way behind on this, even though I've got a few months. My goal is to get this thing sitting on the ground by the end of this week. It's probably crazy. And that's without rushing anything. Just non-stop work, you know. Fine line there between rushing and non-stop, but you get it. So I think first thing I'm gonna do today is get that rear leaf spring, the graphite paint in between it, and get it bolted together. Six or 8 minutes later, I'm still stirring. I think it would have been beneficial to take this down to the hardware store and beg a favor to get them to shake it for me. Man. We're probably pretty close. Looks like it's got a little skim across the top. I guess it didn't seal good the last time, but this is the third or fourth time I've opened it. I think this was on episode 1 or 2 where we did the front spring. Right, we're going to go with that. And all we're doing is just painting this inside with graphite paint liberally. Put a lot on there. Some of it's going to ooze out. Just like that. Now we'll go on to the next one. And I figured out the last time if I just did the bottom of the upper leaf, we didn't waste as much. Not that I don't have some extra I could waste on this, because this probably ain't going to be good to save one more time, but we'll try to get that to stretch out. Anyway, that's what we're doing right here for now. Alright, bolt. Special bolt. This is going to be messy before it's over with. Straightforward progress. Straightforward method here. Put a clamp on it. Hopefully that's gonna get things going in the right direction. Got to buy another clamp one day. This is almost as fun as getting a tooth pulled. Alright, the bolt's starting to come through now. Hoping I can use this one, pull it together a little more. Not yet. Too much. Jennifer, you're watching this video. Pretty sure that's you calling me right now. I love you, and I'll get back to you in a second. That might be enough to get that on there. Alright, we are going to put a little Loctite on it. Get some of the graphite off the threads. A little bit anyway. A little bit of blue Loctite. Enough for 17 bolts probably. Obviously things got tight. Alright. That's all together. One more thing done. Let me give you a word of advice. If you use that graphite paint, make sure your glove doesn't rip. Make sure you don't get it all over your arms like I've been cleaning for the last 10 minutes to get most of it off. But if you get it on your thumb, you're going to leave a thumbprint on anything you touch. Anything you touch. Anything. Acetone seems to help. I'm not using acetone on everything I've touched. Alright, I'm not saying this is the right way or the wrong way, but this is how I was taught to do wheel bearings. And we're going to go ahead and throw this rear inner wheel bearing in and put the seal on. By the way, I'll put the link for this inner bearing. I'll put it in the description. Found it a little bit cheaper. Need to find better gloves. These are pretty good ones. Again, I try to keep my hands as clean as I can, being in the food service industry. Okay, bearing goes in like such inside the race. Race is already in there. So I'm gonna take the bearing, get a big goop of it. Mostly put it down in my palm. And what I want to do is get grease to come out in between the rollers. So I'm packing it in. I've seen people do this 100 different ways. I'm not saying they're right and I'm wrong. I'm not saying I'm wrong and they're right. This is just the way I was taught to do it. Is when you pack a wheel bearing, you literally pack it down in there. See how it's starting to come out right here? You see that? I've seen people just smear it on. That's not packing it, that's just smearing it. They call it packing the bearings for a reason. Just keep working it till it comes out, like so. All the way around. See? It's pretty simple. Just takes a few minutes. Now that being said, as far as not saying it's right or wrong, never had a wheel bearing go bad on me. Probably eat those words now for saying that on this car. Like I said, just keep moving it around with the bearing. Keep piling it back up. And keep packing it in. It comes out. I've never had one of the store-bought wheel bearing packers. You pump grease through it. I suppose they're good. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. Now I am going to put some extra in here. Because you're packing the inside, you don't have anything on the outside, so you, in my opinion, again this is all my opinion, you need a little bit on the outside, a little bit on the race. If it's too much, it'll just ooze out. But once you put it in, you can't put any more grease in it. Again, we'll just get all this excess off my hand because I'm not going to put it back in the can. Drop that down in there. It's another way to take your gloves off too. You can get one inside out. You can pull the other one and pull it inside out too. That was probably as trivial as it gets right there. Two days later. Alright, I do not have, just like I don't have the wheel bearing packer, I don't have a good press. I'm actually going to put a little bit on this seal too. It's mostly in. Now it's fully seated. Is this necessary? Probably not. A little bit more on the inside. And I have always put some on the spindle. It's been a lot better if I put gloves on. Alright, got myself repositioned here a little bit. And that is on. Now we'll do the outer bearing. This little grease still up in there. That was from the protector from painting. Alright, now we'll get the outer bearing on. We'll pack it. Same way, these are threaded. As soon as I find it. When we built the cross-country truck, I saved the bearings. There was nothing wrong with them. These are some pricey little jokers right here. So anyway, I saved the left front. So let's do that one now. Good and clean. Yeah, I don't think there was anything wrong with it. No scarring or anything like that. Mostly clean. A little bit of grease still in there. We'll push all that out with some fresh premium high temperature grease. How often are you guys? I've been watching too many of you guys from up north talk, Yankees. How often do y'all re-grease your wheel bearings? I've seen some people do once a year. I've seen some people say every 500 miles. That wasn't an option for us in the truck. Although after a day or two we did adjust the nut and make sure they were tight. See, it starts pushing it out. It's a hot day in South Carolina and I wish I had the radio on. I was listening to, I think Elvis was on Promised Land. I like some of the funky Elvis from the early 70s, late 60s once in a while. What do y'all listen to? I know Randall Shed by the Tracks. I think he likes Lawrence Welk or something. Or the polka music. See how it's pushing the old grease out? I guess we left a little bit in there. And that's fine. Again, scraping it back in my hand to keep it from having much waste. A little bit on the outside. Again, not saying I'm right or wrong. See how graceful I am? Now this one is threaded. So I'm turning to the right. all I'm doing is holding the wheel up right here so it's closer to center. Now I've got that snug by hand. I'll get cleaned up and I'll get the right wrench for that. I'm just joking, I'll probably never find it. All I'm doing is tightening it up some more. You don't want to go too far. Get a little preload on it and back it off a little bit. I'll back it off about a quarter turn. Seems pretty good. Alright, spacer with the notch. Goes on real easy. We'll take our wrench again, and that's the end that's broke. Anyway, you get the general vicinity here. This is tight. Now we're going to go back, stick a cotter pin through it, and find a hubcap for it. Okay, I apologize for the grease on the GoPro lens in the next few scenes, but as you can see here, I'm starting to add the right front spindle. Got this spindle on. This is the original wheel off of the truck that we went across country with, and it still had the inner bearing in it, an inner seal. It had been re-greased before we put that seal in it, so I'm just going to use that one for right now. Pops right on. Now we've got to grease the outer bearing, right front. And we'll pack this one the same way we did the other one. Except we're starting off with a rip glove this time. All right, I'll get back with you when I get ready to install it. All right, we'll install this one. It's threaded just like the other one. Put a little grease on the outside, just for good measure. Don't forget you have one left hand thread, one right hand thread. This one is your left hand thread. Extremely fine threads. Watching this probably seems like it's taking forever. Screwing it up in here seems like it's taking forever. All right, I'll get the wrench back out. Hope you can see that. I'll get the wrench back out, put a little preload on that, back it off just a touch, and get the washer and nut, put that on there, and a cotter pin. When you start bolting on tires, you really feel like you made some progress. But if you've ever tried to do this with the hub and spokes and a complete wheel, it's a full workout. had to call in a little reinforcement help, call in the backups. Patrick came over here and got the wishbone in. I had to twist on the axle a little bit, but anyway, the wishbone is in, and we couldn't video this because I was saying some choice words, but anyway, the rear end is in. This piece is aftermarket. It was quite tight this way, so what we did is we jacked the rear end up in the spring, attached the spring to the shackles, and took a 2x4 and just beat on this and beat it down onto the spring, and it is extremely close to being centered. It's hard to see it there this way. It looks like it's way off, but anyway, it's probably a 32nd off center for a Model T. I'm gonna call that good. So anyway, thanks to Patrick for coming over here and helping with this. Tomorrow I will go get the wheels, the rear wheels off of the truck, because those are big drum, and the ones that were on the truck were small drum, and I think that's the only big drum ones I have right now. Could be wrong on that, but anyway, we'll get some wheels on this tomorrow, and this time tomorrow, Friday, we'll have a roller. We didn't really work out here that late last night, but man, it was a long day. But anyway, as you saw, we got a lot accomplished. The goal is today to put some back tires on it. I brought one from the truck, big drum, and I've got another wheel that didn't have a drum on it, so I'm gonna just throw that on there for right now. I've got a guy coming over tomorrow, and we'll do a separate video on that one. Let's get started on today and see if we can get this thing on the ground. All right, all I did was I tightened up the shackle bolts, jacked it up, put this one tire on from the truck. I've got a wheel to go over here, but I realized I don't have a tire. So I'm gonna run over to the warehouse and get the other tire off the truck. Alright, if you saw me looking puzzled, this shackle went down like it's supposed to. This side stayed up, so I've got to figure that out. And see if I can't put the car up on jack stands, let the rear end hang, and then figure it out. I don't know. So I got it up on jack stands and put a screwdriver in here, pried it over a little bit. Jennifer jacked it up. It went down in the right position, maybe a little bit too far, so hopefully this is going to balance out. All right, go ahead and let it down.
All right. Here it goes. Oh, sorry.
It's all right. That turn is loose.
Yeah, it looks low.
Is that off of it?
Yep.
Okay.
There we go.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, hold on. All right.
Yep. All right, I'll put some air in that tire and reevaluate. So my plan was to roll this outside on the dollies and have this fantastic shot with the sunset maybe in the background, because the sunset's right here, so it's gonna be perfect. But it started pouring out rain, so I'm gonna just go ahead and end this episode for now. Appreciate y'all watching. I feel like we really finally made some headway on this car. If you have any suggestions, please leave me a comment. If you're on Facebook, Todd Touchberry, reach out to me there. Share it with your friends. Like I said, give me a thumbs up if you don't mind. And most importantly, if we don't see you around here, we'll see you around. You hear?